As you may have already heard, it appears that the Kindle Oasis is officially no more. Amazon has removed all product listings of the Oasis except for the international version, which, as far as I can tell, will not ship to anyone residing in the United States. And they've also removed the Oasis from the comparison chart provided underneath any of the other Kindle listings on their website. So I think that means we're officially done with the Kindle Oasis. And if you're like me and you have a love-hate, mostly love relationship with the Oasis, this is sad news, but not necessarily big news, because I think the writing has been on the wall for a little while now. The Oasis hasn't been significantly updated since 2017, and even since then, we only got one very minor update in 2019, which added basically no features, no cosmetic changes, or anything like that. So the Kindle has been untouched for, I guess, 7 years now, which is crazy to think about. And as I've been saying here on the channel before, I thought we were definitely due for a revamp of the Oasis. It is a beloved device. I know many people prefer this to the Paperwhite as their preferred e-reader. So it is a little shocking to see Amazon apparently abandon a pretty successful product, but again, given the history, not super shocking. So what comes next now that the Oasis as we know it is apparently no more? Well, I think there's a very, very small possibility, but a possibility nonetheless, that we do get some sort of completely revamped version of the Oasis that will keep the same name. I do think that this is highly unlikely given that it hasn't been touched in so long, and that a new Oasis would look completely different than our current Oasis. But it is a possibility that they will pick up, rebrand an existing product. But I think, and this is just a personal hunch, as is everything in this video, that we're probably going to get some sort of Scribe Mini. Because if you take the Oasis out of the equation, the highest tier Kindle we have is the Paperwhite. And the Paperwhite to the Scribe is quite a jump. There's not only a monetary gap between these two, but also a huge gap in features, where the Scribe obviously is more of a tablet type note-taking device, and the Paperwhite is a pure e-reader. Not great at notes, not great at annotations and things like that, but capable as an e-reader. And I think Amazon will try to fill the gap between these two products, because there is quite a gap. I don't think that they're going to abandon this market altogether, because as we've seen, there are so many other competitors moving into the space. E-readers have never been more popular, and there have never been more people in the space, more brands in the space, I should say, with things like the Libra, the Onyx, and so forth, really moving in on this kind of middle ground between the Paperwhite and the Scribe. So I definitely think they will provide some sort of product to bridge that gap. I also think a sort of Scribe Mini makes sense, because for most people, the Scribe is major overkill, not just in price, it's unaffordable for the casual reader, but also in what it is. Most people aren't taking massive amounts of notes, unless you are a student or maybe in the corporate world where you're sitting in a lot of meetings all day and you're just taking a ton of notes by hand. I don't necessarily think there's a ton of prospective clients for the Scribe. Now, obviously it's taken off. I have one, and I'm not a student or someone who takes a ton of notes, so I'm kind of disproving my own theory. But I think that the Scribe is for a very niche down sort of market. And so I think some sort of crossover would make a lot of sense. Maybe you have a stylus, but you also have the page turn buttons that the Oasis had that everyone really, really loves. I mean, when you think about the Oasis, it's the buttons that everyone thinks about, and it's the buttons that get people to buy the Oasis. So I'm thinking some sort of stylus / page turn button device in a smaller size, because again, the Scribe is quite large. I never take it out of the house just because it's cumbersome, bulky, and a little bit fragile feeling. I just don't want it to break if I set my backpack down wrong or it falls over or something like that. So I think a smaller version of the Scribe makes sense in that regard as well. But I definitely think that something like the Scribe with annotating abilities and some of the other features that the Scribe has, but in a smaller size and at a little more affordable middle ground type price, is definitely what Amazon would want to go for. If I was Jeff Bezos working at Amazon calling the shots, that's what I would go for. I don't think Jeff Bezos is designing Kindles, but you know what I'm saying. That's where I would go. I think that just makes the most sense. But let me know down in the comments below, what do you think is going to happen now that the Oasis appears to be done? Are we going to see something to kind of fill that void that it's left, or is Amazon kind of just moving away from Kindles altogether? In the last few years, we've really not seen a lot of updates from the Kindle side of Amazon. Are they focusing more on other aspects of the business? Are they happy to just let these other newer companies kind of take over the e-reader space? I don't think so, but let me know in the comments below what you think. Are you happy to see the Oasis gone, or are you like me and a little disappointed knowing that a device that, yes, I had some complaints about, but still ultimately loved is apparently no more? Let me know in the comments below. As always, I appreciate hearing from you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.